Well, how old were you guys when you met?
I was starting.
That was the first time
I knew about.
Starting?
I don't know, sure.
I knew about Johnny a lot longer than I knew Johnny. That's for sure. I remember the whole court thing happening. That was a big part. And honestly, it probably was closer with his dad than I was with Johnny for years. I knew John pretty good. We always talked about fishing. Always talked about John. I should say. So.
You drift boat with him?
No, he would always be down there at the river, and I'd go down and fish. He'd bullshit. We'd,
So that was the fun. That's really kind of how we kind of got introduced, or we knew about each other way longer than we had spent time together, because I knew him and his posse were always they were always fishing on the river, and they were the younger group that was coming up behind us, who believed that we knew how to fish. We always caught a lot of fish. A lot of times we caught the most fish, and they were always kind of competing with us. So it was kind of like more the west side of the valley, Redway West, not against the east side, but having a silent competition amongst each other, even though we didn't really ever say it. It was like, oh yeah, Gilman and Cardoza and those guys, they caught 6 today on the Redway run, or this or that. And it was the same way out in the ocean, and it was the same way, even quieter, when it came to growing cannabis. We were always jealous on the west side of the east side folks, because it seemed to us, and it might not have ever been true, is that they got the free pass many years in a row, and it was always Edwardsburg, Whitethorn, the west side of the southern Humboldt County that really got punished. And so we were always jealous, whether he knew it or not, of the east side. And I don't know how it happened, but we would start to fish next to each other, and it was no longer became so much of a competitive thing and more of a collaborative type thing. And over those years, I really, and I'm sure he did too, gained respect for each other. And then it was really when
we have a lot in common.
We have, everything in common. Is just our ducks were never really in line. That
our family, our parents taught us how to grow weed. Fishing's our favorite thing. We grow weed for our whole life. We've lived here our whole life. Same community,
shared life passion.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we had a lot of those things were in common. Besides fishing, it was this community that he was intertwined with for coaching and his kids going to school and donating to the volunteer fire departments and sanctuary forest. Those are things that I also did, and so you hear about that through the grapevine, that wow, what a cool guy. He donated to the volunteer fire department. They're in need, and we've really put that at the top of our list as things that we love and wanted to take care of, and that really appreciated. And for me and him and yourself, it was never really about the money. And I know it's so hard for people to really take that in and really understand that, but that's the really honest to God truth, and it still holds true today. And that's why Redwood Roots is so has become the local farmer hero to us. And it's not just Chris Anderson and one person, it's the whole team, and what that group stands for now, that is really leading the Emerald Triangle into the new regulated market, and really has now become very attractive to not only the state-run cannabis industry, but really the whole world. Am I off base?
No, it's great. I think a lot of this whole legalization has really separated the people that are just in it for the money, and just we definitely want to make money. We want to be able to help our families and the community. But a lot of for me now is, instead of just growing more and more and selling it wholesale and making this, is actually keeping our name out there and keeping our tradition and our heritage alive, really.
Where did that catchphrase, art of collaboration, come from? And what does that word mean to you guys? Collaboration and community. It's like, what's your intention for the Tangled Roots brand?
I mean, I would say for me, just to be able to work with Johnny, we've talked about this for a while. What can we do together? What can we do together? You know, we've wanted to work together. That's kind of how it started, but I think as I'm looking at it now and what it has to offer is so much more than me and Johnny. It's more bringing in so many of these other farmers that are out there that haven't came out in the limelight like we are and haven't been represented. And, you know, I mean, there's so many more people out there in this community that deserve to be known because they are amazing weed growers, and they don't know how to jump out in this, which we didn't either. It just kind of happened, you know, obviously certain reasons, but I'm saying it's like, I want to be able to bring in a lot of other farmers and give them the credit they deserve for growing great weed.
So like this idea that we came up with, and you know, it's called Tangled Roots. From the day that we both applied to be permitted farms, we really had to focus on our own farms to make sure that we could get through the regulatory process and actually get to be permitted by the county and by the state. And then once that happened, everything changed for us. And now we no longer wanted to really do this for ourselves, which it seemed like that industry was kind of forcing us to be. Now it came back full circle to where Jason and I, where our hearts are. And it had to be about the community. It had to be working together to really bring attention to the community of who we are as people. And so, you know, we were sitting there brainstorming. We went tuna fishing one day together, and you know, we were like, you know what, let's not give in to the fact that it's only going to be about us, and let's make it about all of us. And this is where, you know, Jason says something about Tangled Roots, and the next thing you know, we wanted to put both of our product in the same jar and really share that with the world. And you know, first thing Jason said to me was, you know what, it can't just be about us. You know, how do we make it about all of us? And so that's when, you know, we came to you because your values are so similar to ours. And we are like one
same.
big family. And so this is when, you know, you kind of came up with the idea, you know, let's do every month or bi-monthly and see where the demand is and put other farms that have a really tight tie to this community and really have the same values as we do. And I think, am I off base with kind of that? Is that?
I mean, you couldn't have a, you know, I think we have the guy that, and how do I say it? Just we each have our own positions in this that makes it perfect, you know?
Yeah, and then when we were all sitting there talking about it, the first thing Jason said to us was, well, a certain percentage has to go back to the community. So how do we do that? That's first and foremost.
And that's important.
Not how do we sell the product that we want to share with the world, but how do we take a certain portion of this and then give that back to the community, and who do we give it to first? Because we want to give it to all the nonprofits and all the people, all the volunteer fire departments. So eventually that will come as different farmers get into jars, because a certain portion of that, you know, is going to be given back to the community.
It's been, I think if you saw that in the Grow magazine where I have that thing on there that says, you know, you can grow as much weed as you want, I don't care, but you have to give back to your community. And honestly, that's been one of the things that really has hiddenly, I haven't really been open with it, but it's annoying watching people make so much money. And I know certain, you know, it's a small percentage, but they just want to save it, right? Or they just want to make more and more and more and collect it. Well, the community needs it. And so I was thinking if each farm could put in, you know, 500 or 1,000 a year, I mean, there's $500,000 our community could have, you know, and I mean, stuff like that could come out of this Tangled Roots.
I feel like the spirit behind this is super abundant, and I'm not meaning financially abundant, but it's like you guys are natural leaders in life, and you got this life has created this journey for you, this road to be here right now. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is like our life's culminations, and all of our individual stories have led us here today. And I just believe in that. Like, you guys could be just focused on Huckleberry Hill. You could be focused on Ridgeline. I could be focused on Redwood Roots as a brand. We could be just like, I want me. I need to be out there. But what this, I believe, is all about is true abundance and using the platforms that you guys have built and have been given, not given, you worked your tails off for it, but life has provided you guys this platform, and I believe you guys are in that seat for a reason, because you guys are abundant and you live that life of gratitude and giving back to the community, which is what I believe this is all about. It's just abundance and sharing and community. And yeah,
We got us, and then we just get the super glue in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you really sit
mean,
back and you look at the sacrifices that were made, and you look into that jar that we're gonna launch here in a few
So
weeks.
where's your coin? Or not your
Well,
coin, your tag?
Hold on, I'm talking.
That's a sacrifice.
Really, Jason's put in, 35, 40 years of experience, and I've put in, 35, 40 years, and, his dad taught him everything that he knows, and, my mother pretty much taught me everything I knew. So there's a lot of time, sacrifice, and energy and love that is in that one jar. And I don't know, I think it represents something just more than good cannabis. It represents this community. It represents the sacrifices that we all have made over this long year to bring this multi-billion-dollar industry to the world. And, Southern Humboldt is the bullseye of a dartboard, and there's nobody that can say anything different on where this whole industry was created and started. And so we just want the real story to be known and told.
I mean, that's with Redwood Roots. Seeing a company, I've wrote this on Instagram a few times, but it's like not taking that big corporate money. You just changed the whole structure of how to make a cannabis business work, and that was getting the trust of the farmers. And all these big companies are just sitting there playing around with millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and they're failing. And then you have one of my best buddies right here just struggling for years trying to figure out, this or that, and pushing away all kinds of this corporate entities that are, coming to him. And then really he found the key. It was right there in his heart, and he got the fucking,
There it was. Exactly.
There it was. It was
and that pressure was
crazy.
Probably to an extent that none of us that aren't in that position really understand.
No.
But really, that's what the reason you and I are both working with him is because
Honored
of
to be.
his value and his integrity. And
How good does it feel in your soul working with him compared to other people that don't have the same beliefs as us? It's just so easy. It's
it
amazing.
feels much better.
This full circle thing that's happening right now that I see in this community is a really good opportunity to bring it home and reinstill those values that we grew up with here. And there was a really tight, all of our parents were tight on some level or another. And there was East versus West on a lot of levels, not just the herb thing and that. I mean, there was like the redneck versus hippies. There was the loggers versus the environmentalists. And that faded, all those little, divisive periods of time. We made it through those. And so I just believe that there's a lot of people that are leaving this community, and it's because they're chasing that green money trail. But the people that are here still are here not for money, like you said to begin with. It's because they want to be here and they love this place. And so I believe the people that are still here today are the people that are supposed to be here. And we have this opportunity to rebuild this community up through projects like Tangled Roots. It's exciting shit. I'm so fucking honored to be a part of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What is Tangled Roots?
I mean, honestly, I think it's all of us around here, our roots run so deep. And, me growing up here and my parents, they were living at other people's places, bringing me along from Whitethorn out to Harris, to Garberville, Redway. I mean, I lived everywhere, and through that, I dropped roots everywhere. And so all this county of these families have dropped roots. I think, we're all connected one way or the other. I mean, that's about as much as that's how I see it, anyways.
And what's the plan for the business?
Well, that's kind of what I was saying is, I mean, my dream would be, obviously, that the portion of this goes back into the community, a percentage of, whatever this makes, and bringing out a lot of the farmers that have, that deserve to be, rewarded. I don't know how to say rewarded, but
recognized for their sacrifices.
Their sacrifice. Yeah, there you go.
And not any one of us, even though we're pretty fortunate, both Chris and I, to be sitting here with a 2-time Emerald Cup winner. I mean, that is way more empowering than he'll ever admit or acknowledge, but it did an amazing thing for southern Humboldt County and all the different farms. And to hear him talk, he'll never say that his product's ever the best product. And he's right. There's so many different people that have their own created strains, and they're all unique and amazing in their own way. And we just wanted to use a jar like Tangled Roots to share that with the consumer and with the world, with what amazing farms that we have here, and that we could collaborate together. And it doesn't have to be about one farm or another farm. It can be always about all of us.
Multiple farms.
And it does kind of represent the way farmers in communities, especially in the smaller communities, would always be helping each other, and always you learn things from the other farmers, and that now you guys are all doing your thing individually, but it goes back to you guys all still trade ideas and things you learn
and share strains and
all that. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Sorry, Justin, but you just touched on something that gets overlooked a lot of times, is really our professionalism, or our ability to really grow really super good cannabis, is our ability and our opportunity to collaborate with all the other farmers. Because I call him 3 to 4 times a week, asking him, not always using
Every
his
morning.
ideas, but checking in on certain
I
things
call
that
him
he's
every
doing.
morning.
and we kind of weigh it out. Okay, yeah, you did this, it worked for you, or I did this and
All
it
of
didn't
the
work
drying
for me.
techniques, everything. I mean,
Everything.
just little things.
So
it's completely in line with what you guys do. You might as well be, be in line putting out what your products have done, because you have a lot of influences on each other in the way it's.
I think a lot of us around here do that. I mean, a lot of these, tons of these farms that are on that board behind you there. I mean, we all call each other. We all ask for questions, and you have to have open-minded in this. It's always changing. There's always new methods.
I mean, I'm open-minded to giving him half of my farm, and he should probably give me half of his farm. Even though I'm 5,000 and he's 10,000, so what, bro?
What do you got?
Even
What do you got? What do you got?
Bring it.
It all averages out.
So you owe me 500 pounds.
I'm willing to split my camera rate for
Right?
the farm as well. Yeah.
You know what? You
There you
get
go.
252.
You guys, I love you guys. Really nice.
That's
I'm
really
gonna
nice.
start sitting with other people that have acres.
He's speechless, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just level up. All
Level
of
up.
us. We level up through you. You level up through your 200
You're-
acre people. And
Yeah.
I mean, and that's even it too. I've been telling Chris, it's not really about the wholesale. I'm saying like we could be pushing all of our product wholesale for these other companies to be able to market with our weed. And to me, that's just kind of, it's giving away a lot of, what Humboldt has to offer, because it's we make less money jarring it. Everyone's like, you're killing it. Well, we aren't. We make way less money for doing it through jars than we do wholesaling it. And they break it down, from bigs to smalls, which also knocks your price point down. But it's way more than that for me. It's like getting my name, the Humboldt name, the Southern Humboldt name, and getting it out there, and teaching people about Humboldt sun-grown cannabis. And and honestly, everyone thinks everybody knows Humboldt. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know sun-grown weed at all. And I'm talking SoCal. There's a lot of people right here in our state that don't know about sun-grown. And so I think a lot of this is just educating the consumer. I've said that so many times, but the more we teach, them about not only carbon footprint, global warming, and what they're putting in their body all together, it's a combination of, what we grow.
Let me just say
Quality.
something also, not to go backwards and
Go
almost
backwards.
regurgitate what Jason said about Tangled Roots and what it means. And this is their project, and I'm so
Our
honored to be a
project.
part of it. But the name, but Tangled Roots to me and Redwood Roots are the same thing. They mean the same thing. And it's Redwood Roots, and this isn't about Redwood Roots, but this is about that ecosystem that we're talking about in this community. And there's a science behind the root system of a redwood tree that is the exact same as the idea and concept behind Tangled Roots. And that is that scientifically the roots and the mycorrhizae and the roots intertwined in a redwood forest, ancient redwood forests, are meant to hold each other up. And one falls, the next fall, the next fall. And so this is about this ecosystem of roots we're like the underground original outlaw cannabis fucking grower culture up here. And we are all deeply intertwined, not just in cannabis, but in life and our outside of cannabis passions, like they said, fishing, surfing, art, photography, cooking, growing vegetables, picking mushrooms in the forest. That's all part of who we are and what we represent. And so that Tangled Roots, in my mind, is that epitome of a community intertwined, holding each other up.
Damn.
Whoa, that was big.
It's really good.
How do you follow that?
You guys have the jar available in here to have the jar and some of the shots?
Oh, no, we probably just leave the jar anywhere besides where the cameras are.
I know,
because-
where is the
Well,
jar?
I mean, right now for this.
Did you lose the jar again?
I gave it to you. Did we leave it in the redwood forest? I didn't get it back off of the burl.
I'm gonna have to go get it right now then.
For real?
That's
though?
kind of cool that it's still there.
I know. Wait, are you serious?
I didn't grab it.
I didn't touch it.
The last place I saw
You
it was
guys
on the
left
burl.
the jar. You guys smoked way too much Skittles.
I'll go back and get
That's
it.
the fucking
I'll
jar.
actually go back and get it.
That.
Is there weed in there?
No.
That's the number one. It's the first one.
That's
okay.
hilarious.
I could
We're all,
live
where'd the jar go? We left it on the burl in the
There's
forest.
not another prototype mocked up or anything?
No.
Is that really where it is?
I
There
don't
has to
know.
be. I got a picture of it just sitting there, and then we all.
We all just walked away.
Okay.
Too short.
So the Tangled Roots jar is, the first of its kind, and it just seems amazing to be able to launch it with the two of you guys, and be able to share with the world two special, unique strains that we grew on our farm. Whitethorn Rose and Pink Rose. Excuse me. I guess now they're both sativa dominant, and we're the Pink Rosé tested out at 18%, and the Whitethorn Rose is somewhere about 45 or 50% THC. And that's okay, because you can take a little of my THC and put it onto his product. And
Not about 35.
That was fucking hilarious, dude.
I'm sorry, I lost.
That was so funny.
Well, that was what we were really here for.
Yeah,
There
right.
should be a funny clip of this shit. You got so much
That was
funny
pretty
shit
funny. That
from
was
the
pretty
B-roll,
funny.
dude. You need to put some B-roll
Make
stupid
a
shit
movie of
together.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I got a little.
I mean, the Pink Rosé, I feel like beyond them both being, like I said, they both a rose, Whitethorn Rose, the Rosé, the Roots. It was also a strain that this year in this crazy weather grew the most stable. It was a super strong growing strain. Like it made it through the cold where all my other buds were getting small and this and that. And those were just like hardy, nice, plants. So
Strong
pleasure to grow. And it had kind of a really old school characteristic. When you smell it, it kind of gives me that feeling of, smelling my dad's first plants when I was younger.
nostalgic.
That it just kind of gassy.
The word that came out of my mouth when I smelled it too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's old school, nostalgic smell for sure.
Yep. So that kind of is good for going all the way back into my deep roots there.
Who are the two second farms you guys are gonna approach to put in this jar?
We still have talking, but I think Sun Love,
Did we decide already? Thought we decided.
yeah, Sun Love and Love Humble. And they are, we haven't told them yet, but talk about two amazing farmers with, their families are completely intertwined. I mean, they actually are family.
And those are two, besides you guys and a lot of other people in the community as far as farmers, those are two guys I bet we could call right now on the phone and say, hey, we need some help. And they would probably be here within, as fast as they could get here.
100%.
And, that says a lot. It just feels so much like family and tight community that, there's so many farms that are deserving of
Oh my gosh.
this honor, but they definitely are two that deserve to be highlighted for their accomplishments over the years and in their.
It's hard to, like you
Stability.
say, I mean, that wasn't a hard choice by any means. It came like that, but there's so many of our close friends that are amazing farmers that we want to be in the same project, in this jar, the Tangled Roots jar, and that is another one of our goals.